that much more.
Yeah. Yep. So this is going to dip into the next thing, guys, because it does relate to one of the largest categories of our demographic here in the U.S., which is millennials. Millennials are moving to 5 surprising states. 5 surprising states for affordable housing. They are Nevada, Tennessee, Texas, Georgia, and Ohio. Are we surprised?
No.
No.
What I wasn't surprised to read, and it's something that we've all been aware of, is that if you notice on every state or every place that they're moving or migrating to, one of the biggest things is recreational and work. So as long as their experience seems good, it's gonna be good, or it's tied into their life experience, they're okay with moving it. And a lot of it had to do with having accessibility, being able to have a good paying job, being able to have enough money, and having the experience that they want while being able to.
Yeah, I just think they're saying, hell no. I'm not going to wait till what? The average age of buying a home now, that went up to 50-some years old.
Yeah, and it makes sense because
or 40.
What are you talking about? The average age of the first-time home buyer?
Yeah, first-time home buyer. What was it? 48, 49?
No, it was 35. But that's actually in this
it's
pocket.
Increased. It's actually increased higher.
Yeah,
it was 38. I think last year. This year it came out to even worse than that.
But that's all. That's in that same pocket. So the pattern I saw here about that age was I think in Nevada. What I marked. Yeah, so I highlighted this. Nevada, the median age is 40 in Reno.
Yeah,
and then you have. In Tennessee,
35.
It's 35, and in Texas, it's 36.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the median, and it's also right in line with that national average for first-time home buyers. And the millennials are going to be the biggest batch of new first-time, or the biggest batch of first-time home buyers in this next 10 years, because they're in this earning age. Yeah. They're in this spending age and this life stage where it's I need the house because I'm going to have kids or whatever, but it comes that behavior along with it, like Brian's saying, of I still want to have experiences. I want to be able to go places. I want to have a high quality of living, lowest cost as possible. And I think this group is economically way smarter than maybe ours was. And I'm going to tell you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tell you why.
In some ways, I do.
There's differences, but there's some ways maybe ours is more
wise
and yours is more wise. But here's the thing: a lot of these guys are saying that they want low cost living, low taxes, affordable housing, entertainment, stuff like that. But they're looking at the overall experience, and they're migrating because they're looking at the totality of everything, not just the house is the end all be all. So it's the awareness of things like taxation and whether there's income tax or not, or whether your property taxes are fixed or if they're going to be changing every year. That awareness is way different than what was coming from our generation.
All they talked about was affordability, and they talked about, how is that going to become a thing, affordability, when the home price is much lower and we can fit my whole family there, and with growth, that's one. But the thing, the common denominator of all of these, it was job opportunities and future growth, right? They're looking at these things in a different lens than we did. Before I looked at it dude, I get to buy a house right here, and I get to party all the time in the Strip. This is great.
Heck yeah.
And if I had a good month, I'm just going to go in bed and hopefully, bet on red, and hopefully I just double my money, right? These guys are just totally looking all different, which is great.
I feel like the millennials are either in a position where they have a high or decent paying job, and a lot of them, choose to work remote. So that gives them a lot of the accessibility to be able to move places other than their home city, knowing that they could still work anywhere else, save some more money. And if they're in a high cost area, they're like, hey, I could book it to someone else, still get paid what I get paid, and make my dollar stretch more.
Yeah. Well, I did do a little research in preparation because I was wondering, okay, what are the top reasons why millennials would be migrating? And you're already mentioning some of them. There's number one, seeking affordable housing. Number two, a preference for suburban or exurban living. Remote work flexibility, which I think, again, the dynamics of coming out of 2020 really shifted everyone's attention into that. I know there's a big clawback happening at a lot of places where, hey, return to work, finally now happening. But I think the flexibility part is obviously why it's listed here as number three. The fourth thing listed was desire for lower cost of living, which we talked about on multiple variables, not just lower property tax, but even places that have no personal income tax. And then climate and lifestyle preferences, just wanting to be in a nice place.
Yeah.
And wanting to be able to go do stuff, be able to afford to go do stuff and create experiences without just being completely house poor all the time.
No, totally. I like it here too that some of these millennials actually want to work in an office. This whole just staying at home thing is not working out. And I'm thinking, I'm just getting distracted because it's office work setting 4 to 5 days a week. That's what I was like, okay. I was actually surprised by that.
Yeah.
Because I see Ashton and Dylan, they like to be at home.
They do, but they go to work, don't they?
They do.
They go to work, so they come home. So it's weird. It's it was like the whole like trad wife thing was trending like last year, right? Where it's like, but I think some of those traditional things, the millennials or younger generation,
Trad wife
coming back to like a traditional wife, like a stay-at-home mom and raise the kids. I'm not taking a position on that. I'm just saying that I think some things that are traditional in our culture are being held on to. As much as things are changing in one way or another, I think there's some traditional values and some traditional things that they're looking at and going, you know what? I see why my grandparents did it that way, or I see why my parents lived it this way, because not everybody's cut out for work at home. Some people can't turn that off. And so some people need a place to go and a place to leave so they can come home and like rest again. Yeah. And then be ready to go back to the place.
Yeah,
and,
you learn to appreciate your kids better.
And not all workplaces are like that. You're not going to go build trucks at home. Like if you work at the factory, you got to go do that work over there. So
no, I get it.
Me over here talking about factory work. What am I
talking
about?
But it is cool to see, identify the 5 states that people are going to. Some of these sound fun, like, Nevada, Tennessee.
I heard Tennessee is fun.
Yeah.
Tennessee's awesome. Yeah, I love Tennessee.
And then they got Texas, Austin. We have
keep
one of
Austin
our friends.
Weird.
Yeah, keep Austin weird.
That's right. Austin's a crazy place because it's like in the middle of Texas where you have like a lot of like there's just some like vast open expanse, and you get to Austin, it's like this like booming city. It's crazy.
Yeah, they say it's close to San Diego or something like that.
I might be like,
it does feel a lot
except
that way.
for the mosquitoes.
I might be biased because obviously I've lived in San Diego my whole life, but I just feel it'd be very difficult to leave here any other state because of the climate that's so good, everything around, like, and then you go somewhere else. Oh yeah, it's a lot lower, but I hate mosquitoes. I hate this heat. So it's like, give or take.
And those are facts, Brian. Those are facts. We actually have a friend that that's what in the beginning, it was all good, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's like the honeymoon stages. Right?
I can get through this. It's fine.
This is great. And then 2 years later, like, okay, I get this. Now I can't put lotion on, and I don't dare to put cologne on because the mosquitoes are going to really get me, Oh, and then I'm going to go in my pool and I'm going to put a freaking, a net right there so nothing comes through. Like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry we battled that.
It's that personal prioritization of things. Like
there's
some things
or
we're
we
willing
go
to deal with and some we're not.
We go in our pool and we find an alligator or a snake and they're like, bro,
find an alligator.
We don't do all that.
In San Diego, it's like, oh no, it's summer in the morning, but winter in the afternoon and fall midday.
Yeah,
like what?
We know Kaylin when she went into the pool or fell in the lake, she didn't even want to paddleboard over there.
We're gonna catch so much hate in the comments.
I went from Texas over to Florida. It was like
yeah, with the Florida.
Yeah, I'm not gonna paddleboard over here because there's an alligator gonna get me.
You skip states without even missing a breath.
I just had to go everywhere,
Oh man,
I am everywhere now. So